first thing when you get to obviously your pitch, if you're going to use your motor mover or your vehicle, obviously get that onto pit using whichever method you want to use. Just check to see if it's level side to side. If it's not level, you're going to need to raise the one side that's lower. So the way to do that is put it up on blocks. So drive it up onto a box or ramp. So
you got some of them.
You got some of them, yeah. So the lowest, I don't know if you can see there, is just slightly leaning to that one side. That's because of the drainage on the floor here. And you need to lift it up. So the only way to do that is by either using your vehicle to pull it up onto the ramps, or reverse it up onto the ramps, or use a motor mover.
Right.
Okay. And the steadies are not there to lift it. So the legs that come down in each corner, they're just there to steady it, as the word mentions. Okay. So check. You might not need to level it side to side, but that's what you need to do first. It is easy with a vehicle that's still attached if you can do it with that. Obviously, motor mover will do it. Okay. So if you don't need to, obviously, unattach the car, get the car out of the way if you've used that, or used your vehicle. Make sure you get the handbrake on first. You don't want it rolling off. Disconnect the electrics, cable, breakaway cable. Wind it up off the vehicle. I'll go for that one. Put it on and off the vehicle if you tow wiggly or not. And I'll show you the stabiliser after that as well. Okay, so get the vehicle out of the way. Then you want to level it front to back. So use your jockey wheel. Just wind it up or down. Obviously, spirit level is quite useful. So if you've got one of them, you can buy these little ones about that size for pence. So just put it on a flat surface and so make sure it's level that way. Okay. The importance of having it level, obviously one, you'll realise when you're lying in bed and you're rolling off to one side or the other. Also the important bit obviously is drainage. Obviously if the sink's leaning that way and there's puddle holes here, it's just going to sit in the sink, same in the shower, and the fridge doesn't like running on when it's on a funny angle as well. Okay, so we've levelled. That's not your van, by the way, that's the compressor sitting at the back. Right, so once you've got it level front to back, side to side, then you can wind the legs down. Once you wind the handle, there's a point either side. So just behind my acro anymore. So you've got a winder point there. All you do is wind it down until it touches the ground.
Yeah.
I have got a drill somewhere. If you've got a cordless drill at home, you can get this kind of fitting. That makes life so much easier. If you were winding that down by hand, I'd have all the other three done before you'd even got that to the floor. So that's the difference of. Well, unless you like the exercise, obviously you can do that. I'll leave that in your front pocket. So, obviously it's important to obviously get all the legs down, obviously to make it steady. But obviously before you get in, get at least one at the back down. Otherwise, if you step in the back and it's you're looking at the stars or sort of, well, not much sun, the clouds perhaps. So always get at least one leg down at the back. Okay. Once you've done that, then you can start connecting the services. So obviously the gas would normally you'll drive with it connected already, but you'd obviously have it switched off. So first thing, if you want to, you can switch that on, turn the gas on. Obviously the locker stores lots of different things. So if the Akrol fits in there, obviously you'll be getting things like that out. Your water pump. So the first thing normally is going for the Akrol. Once you bring it back, you need to put your pump in. So you can see that, if the connection here, it's got two little tabs. See these here? So they actually lock the pump in. So this is your pump. Obviously that sits inside the Akrol. There's only one way that'll go in anyway, so you can't get that wrong. Push it in, just turn them little tabs, but remember to straighten them back up again when you come to pull it out, because it's quite easy to pull them off if you're not careful. Okay? Next thing we come to is your vent for your boiler. So this is the cover here, this is your travel cover. You can leave that on if you're just using the boiler on the electric, but you need to take it off if you operate on gas, because that's what it is, it's a flue for the boiler. Right. If you forget, all it will do is just shut the gas off, it'll just shut down. So there's no danger if you left it on, it just shuts down. Okay? So that'll be one of the things when we talk inside, but that's the one thing to remember if you are operating on gas. Okay? Yeah. Next thing you'd want to do is connect your waste, or your waste master. You say you've got one. There is there's got some solid waste pipes that are in a pack on your starter pack. All they do is just push into that. Okay, and then it just obviously direct it down into your waste master. Okay, straightforward. I've obviously got my bucket now, but you can, depending if you're on some of these posh sites, a bit similar to what we've got up there, you can direct it onto a drain on the pitch. So some have a drain, so you can just put, obviously need some extra long pipe, and then you can actually just drain straight down onto the pitch. And probably even have direct water supply as well into your Akrol. Okay. Yeah. Next thing you come along to, which is the front end of the van, flush tank. So the toilet flushes off its own reservoir. It doesn't work off the main water system, it's got its own reservoir. So you've got your pink chemical, I don't know if you saw down there, you've got a pink chemical, so you put a small amount of pink chemical in and just top it up with water. Okay, so it's just a hole, you pour stuff through there. Some people you see, they've got watering cans, they top it up using that. I tend to just use a 2 litre water bottle. It does exactly the same thing. What I wouldn't do is travel with it full. So you can travel with some in there, but don't travel with it full, because it may overflow into the van.
Ah, right,
So
okay.
if it's bouncing around, because obviously being right at the back as well, it's
Yeah.
doing a lot of that. So you can travel with some in there. So if you need to use it, you can pull into a lay-by. Because obviously this is not the easiest things to go and park up anywhere in the middle of a town or anywhere, or if you know where near the service station. So you can travel with some in there.
Okay.
The other fun bit, or the more fun bit, is the waste tank. To release it, just see that yellow lever there, just lift that lever, it should slide out easy.
Okay.
If it's not sliding out easy, the likelihood is you've left the wastegate open on the toilet, which I'll show you after. So if it's not coming out, it's really struggling, push it fully back in, go inside, make sure that gate's closed. Otherwise, it should slide out as easy as that. You put a blue chemical in there before you use it, okay, and around about a pint of water. That's to break down the nasty stuff. Also, you don't empty it down the drain, you empty it down a specific point, which is your chemical emptying point. Be very careful where you put that lid, because that's where, when you empty it, that's where it's going to come out of. Don't put that on the wall next to where you emptied it, because the likelihood you're going to knock it down that hole.
Okay.
You're not going to be putting your fingers down there to go and fish that out.
Okay.
So it's best to put it on the floor. Some posh sites have a little place to put the cap.
Okay.
Put it out of the way, make sure you don't knock it down that hole. Right. Okay, you can access it via there as well, so that will slide out, open that up, obviously you can access to clean it. Just be careful when you clean it, there's a little float inside here, which puts an indicator on when this is full inside on the flush tank. So if you go and thrash it around trying to clean it out, that might loosen that float, and that disappears off down the emptying point as well. So you won't have an indication, apart from looking.
So you just clean it out with like water?
Yeah, I think you can get chemicals for these kind of things if you wanted to. I just tend to flush it out with water.
Yeah. Okay.
Just clean it out. Okay, very important this, more for winter, is this little drain down here. See that, it's just a little plug.
Yeah.
Obviously it's very important that there's no water left in. When you're in storage, don't leave any water in the van. So best thing to do is flush it. So you flush whatever's in that reservoir into your waste tank, and just drain the last little bit through that.
So just keep flushing it until it's empty?
Until it's empty, yeah. Okay. The other good thing about that is it's draining the pump of water as well. So as it's spinning, it's pushing water out of the pump, because obviously the water can be held in the pump. That freezes, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Okay. Right, as we come around the back, you can see, if you look down here, I've got both legs down at the back. So there's the winder points for there. The other ones are either side of the front. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Coming down this side, so one of the other things you would need to do is obviously connect your electrics. Your batteries, obviously as you saw as you came in, I've connected your batteries, that will stop there all the time. We have got a charge unit which is actually part of the caravan, so that will charge your battery, obviously as long as you've got electric connected. And it will also charge off your vehicle as long as you've got the electrics for that as well. Okay, so I think I saw you've got the grey side, so that will provide charge off your vehicle as you're travelling. Okay, so when you're connecting your electric, you'll see this here. So, if you can see, so it's just easy, just pull that flap up and just slide it on there. Always connect your caravan first, unravel the cable fully, and then connect your bollard after. Right. Okay, if you connect to the bollard first, you've got a live cable, you're wandering across wet grass.
Okay.
Obviously, it might not be a good outcome if you get a bit of a shock off that. Okay. So, always to the caravan first, then all you do is just slide that cable into that gap there, look, and shut it up. Okay. So it locks it up. Okay. What you've also got there is what is called an external aerial, so you can actually connect an external aerial into that.
Oh, right, okay.
So you have
we have got an onboard aerial anyway, but you can connect on some of these sites again. If they've got a poor signal in the area, they have a bollard or they have a boosting aerial, so you can actually plug into their aerial as such.
Oh, okay.
What you've also got in here, if you can see there, that's your key for your motor mover, which I'll show you after, because obviously I'm not going to be moving it around now because I've got everything all connected.
Okay.
Okay. And what I've also got connected is our gas at the moment, because I haven't got your gas here. So we have got gas connected into the van.
Okay.
All right.
And is that just another locker box?
Yeah. So that's just what you call a wet locker.
Okay.
So obviously it's not wet, but obviously it stops anything getting wet. What you've also got, which seems a bit odd, having in a wet locker is an electric point. So if you've got the awning, obviously you can put anything electrical into that if you wanted to. And what you've also got is a gas barbecue point. I'm going to open. A bit thin. So if you want to, you can connect direct to your gas bottles.
Okay.
You can have a gas barbecue off that. Okay, so it's just a need a fitting about as like a brass fitting about as size of my finger.
Oh, right, okay.
And you just do a bit of clip to the pipe and just clicks in and obviously tap there. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Right, if you can see down here, I've got my torque spanner. It is very important that you check the wheel nuts regularly. Okay, obviously if you don't, they become loose, or someone's been playing with it and trying to take wheels off. If that comes off when you're travelling, obviously it's going to be a lot of damage. So it is very important that you check. I always check mine before I go away each time. I'm just trying to think. I'm pretty sure it's 115 newton meters on this. I'll check in the logbook, or in the handbook even. But 115 newton meters it should be. I will check that before you leave anyway. But always check it before you go away.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Right. If you'd like to go inside, I will explain all the other fun bits inside there.
Yeah, just
Right. So I'm going to put my slippers on because I get shouted at if I get carpets too.
right. Shoes off really, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit cross, it's a bit
Nice
warm
and warm in here.
I'm going to say, I wasn't really, because it was a bit cold when I came in. I'll turn it off for now. That's it. Right. Yeah, you can see how warm it is. I like handing over vans in the colder months because you can see how good the heating is.
Yeah.
In the summer, you don't want the heating on anyway, but you can see where people go away in New Year's Eve and things like that in these vans because the insulation, the insulation in these things is pretty good. And then you got heating, that warms up really nicely as well. Okay, right. First thing when you come in, this is your control panel. So this here is your master switch, 12 volts. If I just switch that off now, you see the two lights at the front. They're off 240. Okay. So if you're on a site that you haven't got 240 connected, obviously these vans will work without any electric connected to them. They'll run off the 12 volts. Okay, so that each system in here will have some kind of 12 volts attached to it. Obviously when you start off you need to switch that on. Okay. Don't switch your water pump on straight away. That one there is just this interior light here.
Okay.
And this button here is to check your level on your battery as well. Okay. So it's just a vague, obviously it's in the green, it's obviously in good condition. Yellow, obviously it's getting a bit drained. But if you've got electric connected, that's not going to make so much difference. But obviously when you're on the site with no electric, then you'll notice, obviously when it starts going down, if you've got everything all switched on, the battery's not going to last too long.
Okay.
Okay. So the reason why I don't switch the water pump on straight away as I come in, the reason is, obviously if you're going to get the water system up and running, what you need to make checks first, so you can see where that can go. If you've left these taps open, you switch the water pump on, you're going to end up with water all over the place. So check, one, taps are shut in the correct position, same in the bathroom, same in the shower. Then what you need to check is the drain down is closed as well. So the drain down for the boiler, which is down here, you can see that. I'll move that enough to. You see that yellow lever down there?
Yeah.
Yep. That is a drain down for your boiler and the rest of your water system. Okay. The position it's in at the moment, flat, that is the closed position. So that keeps the water in the system. If you just tip it up and it's pointing upwards, it will drain the water down on the ground underneath the van. So if you forget to close that, you switch the water pump on, all it will do is empty the Akrol straight out, back out underneath the van.
Right, okay.
All right? So
Do
you
you
can
need to do
guarantee
that for the winter as well?
Yeah, I would. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's your drain down. So what I tend to drain it down as I'm leaving site.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. Because what I do, I lift that up. Oh, I get my wife to run in. Obviously not on the pitch that you're sitting on, because obviously the next customer's not going to be too happy if you just flooded their pitch. Also, what I tend to do is we drive to the gates of the site, open that up, open all the taps to centre, and that will drain down out for that hole there. The other advantage of is that movement as you're driving home, obviously that helps it to drain out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's a better drain down. Alright? So, next thing. So we've done all them checks, now we can switch the water pump on. What we're going to need to do, obviously if you drained it previously, obviously all the system's going to be full of air, so you need to get the air out.
Okay.
Alright, so water pump on, so just press that switch there. I have primed it slightly already, so you won't see the full effect of the air coming out, but start on the cold side. You can hear that happily now. So what you'll normally get to start with is a lot of spluttering. So obviously the air is trying to force its way out. The reason I do it on the cold side first is that's normally the quickest route from the Akrol to here anyway.
Yeah.
So once I've got, you might see a bit of spluttering now because I took the pipe out of the connection. So you'll see a lot of spluttering normally. So once I've got a solid stream on the cold side, then turn it to the hot side. What we're going to do then is fill the hot water system, which includes the boiler.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's empty, that container is a 10 litre water container. Obviously if it's empty, it's 10 litres of air. 10 litres of air has got to come out through there, through that tap.
Right.
So it's going to take a couple of minutes at least. I'll splutter.
Okay.
Alright, so it will take at least a couple of minutes.
Do you have to do all of that?
Yes. So I always concentrate on the one first, get the system, so especially on the hot side, because then you fill the hot water tank. Once that's got a solid stream like that, hot water tank's full. Okay? Then you do the rest of them, that's just to pull the water through the pipe work from there and there. So you shower and your sink. Alright?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Right. Very important this that you do not switch on the water boiler on electric before you've done that. Okay. If you do, or it has been left switched on, which I'll show you in a second, the likelihood it's going to damage the element. You might be looking at it and it trips, but it, obviously you don't know how many times it may have operated already.
Okay.
It may damage the boiler. So it's like boiling a kettle with no water in it.
Okay.
It could damage it.
Yeah.
Alright? So make sure you get that done first. But the important switch is this one here. So you see this one here, it says water heater, which is that one there.
Okay.
Okay? So when you're, obviously to make sure you don't do that, is make sure when you're time to go home, you switch all the way. You can switch them all off, but that is the main one to switch off.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it won't hurt anything else, because as soon as you unplug the electric, obviously it's not going to do anything anyway.
Yeah.
But it's the risk of when you plug it back in again, and the next side,
Yeah.
and that's been left on, there's no water in it, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll leave that switched off now, but that's heating your water on electric.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll just leave the rest of that for a second. Okay. So heating on electric is that one. Heating on gas. So water heat on gas. So you see these two, they look very similar. Ultra heat, that's your heater.
Yeah.
Okay. Ultra store, storing your water. So that's your water heating.
Right. Okay.
So that's gas on water heating. You can see that's got a little like flame icon there.
Yeah.
So to operate that, turn the outer ring. You see a green light.
Yeah.
There we go. So there's the boiler igniter clicking in now. If it fails, and you can see there's a green light there now. If it fails, you'll see a red light.
Right.
Okay. The reason for that is it's failed to light, so it's shut off. It's shut down. So if it does go to red, turn it off. Check the things. Right. So check. You have turned your gas on.
Yeah.
You might have forgotten to turn your gas on. 2, you have got gas. So you may have run out of gas. Okay. So the way of checking that is you could light your cooker up. If the gas is obviously running, you can see that.
Yeah.
If you run out, obviously your cooker won't light either.
Okay.
All right. And if you remember the cover on the vent outside,
yeah.
So if that's been left on, that will shut down, so it will go straight to red.
Okay.
All right. And the other reason is there's air in the system. So if you change the gas, if you haven't used it for a while, or on gas, or you've changed the gas bottle, obviously it will allow a bit of air into the system. It will obviously realise that and shut down. So what you do is just turn it off, leave it for around about a minute, turn it back on again, give it another attempt to light. Okay, as it was just trying to do then. If it fails again, which it may do, if it's got air in the system, it may fail 2 or 3 times, switch it back off again, give it another minute. Switch it back on again. So what it's doing then is trying to purge the air out of the system.
Okay.
So once it gets to the gas, then it will stay lit.
Okay.
Alright?
Yeah.
The difference between heating on gas, you can see there, it's got a thermostat even, in the centre of there. So 70 degrees, you can see that on the green light, 70, or as low as 30 if you really wanted to. So that's only adjustable on the gas side of it.
Okay.
The electric is thermostatically controlled to 70, so you've got no variable control on that, it's just 70.
Okay.
Alright? Most people tend to operate on electric anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously if you haven't got electric, then you have to use the gas.
Yeah.
But when you're on site, obviously you pay for the pitch, the electric comes free.
Yeah, you might as well use that.
Yeah, you're going to use that. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's your water heating. So electric is that switch in there,
Right.
gas is that one there.
Okay.
Alright?
Yeah.
Okay so far?
Yeah.
Not losing you yet?
No.
No, good. Right. I don't know. I tell you, there's a lot of information. I tell you, on these things, there's obviously quite a bit of information to take in, and you get to a certain point. I'm the same. Get to a certain point, and it's like, but trying to remember all of it, it is difficult. That's why we obviously recommend the camera.
Yeah.
Because you can then look back and think, oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway. But if you're not going to use it for a while, that can make. Have you got it stored at home? Or are you in
No.
storage?
Well, it's going to be at home for a few days, and
Yeah.
then it's going into storage next
It might
week.
be if you've got the space or if you've got the chance, is to set it up.
Yeah. We might go off in it this weekend, mightn't we?
I would if I were you. I'd go away at some point before Christmas, definitely.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
leave it till next year.
No, we're
If you-
probably going to be going away, but just like not
immediately.
yeah, like
Yeah.
not regularly, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
perhaps.
yeah. So if
Every
you
few
can have it
weeks.
at home, so if you had it home for a period of time just before you go away, you could set it up.
Yeah.
Check it all. Well, that plus it's checking things as well, making sure things are working,
Yeah.
and you're getting used to how it works as well before you get there and thinking, oh, I can't remember how this works.
Yeah.
But don't worry. Obviously, we're here 7 days a week. You can always ring us.
Okay.
And also, you go on if you remember the Caravan Club site or Caravan Club or Camping Caravan Club, there's always people on there who've got hundreds of years of experience,
Okay.
and so there's always lots of people to ask. The wardens normally, they're caravanners anyway, or motorhomes,
Yeah.
so they'll have something similar, or they would have experienced similar systems of disease as well.
Okay.
So there's no panic if you get on site. There's always somebody willing to help,
Yeah.
and there's always going to be other newbies on there as well. So
Yeah.
we'll all help each other out. Okay, so the next thing is heating. Obviously, you've seen how warm that. Obviously, that was flat out. Obviously, I had the door open, so you can see how warm it was, even with the door still open.
Yeah. So
the heater that can also be run on electric or gas.
Okay.
So there's that switch similar to the water heater. There's what is called a space heater switch, which is
Okay.
just above the water heating one.
Yeah.
Okay, that provides power to here. So if I switch this on now, you can see there's a green light. It looks very similar to that.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is electric. It says 230 volts there.
Yeah.
So this is electric. If that green light isn't on, that little switch hasn't been switched on the consumer
Yeah.
panel.
Okay.
All right. So with this, you've got a selection of either 500 watts, 1,000 watts, or 2,000 watts. So if you imagine, roughly, it's like a 3-bar fire.
Yeah.
Roughly. So obviously the 2,000 is obviously the higher level of energy, or 500 is the lesser. So it all depends on. Obviously at night time you might think, gosh, it's a bit too warm. You can either just control the thermostat or just drop it down the energy. So say down to 500 might be enough energy overnight.
Okay.
But it's up to you, obviously. You can guarantee you'll end up turning it off, and then 4 o'clock in the morning it'll be freezing cold, and
Yeah.
you want to switch it back on again. But okay,
Yeah.
so very similar control to that, but this is electric and thermostat. So 9. So if that 9 is next to the green or the green light, that means that's the highest point. Obviously 1 next to it, obviously the coldest point.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Switch that off. That's in the centre. So that's heated an element up inside there. It has also got a gas element. So this control here is for the gas side of it.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so obviously don't operate both at the same time because obviously you just overheat it. So if I turn that now, I'll just switch off for a second. You can hear the clicking.
Yeah.
That's the igniter ready to fire up. Okay, so all you do, I turn it around about 5, press and hold that down, releases the gas. Tractor going past. If you hear that, it's lit now. So if you have a look down there, you should be able to see the blue flame.
Okay. In there. Yeah.
If when you lift your finger off there and you hear it still ticking, obviously it hasn't lit. Press and hold it a bit longer.
Right. Okay.
All right. So you can see, you should be able to see the blue flame down there.
Okay.
The narrow part of the pointer, obviously that's the indicator. So obviously 10 is obviously the hottest. To switch it off, just bring the narrow part just past the 0, and that'll shut the igniter off as well.
Okay.
All right. This side of it is your fan. So obviously, if you can see round, there's vents in the floor or in the furniture. So that's drawing the hot air from the back of the fire and pushing it out the different vents.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously it warms it up a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Instead of having just all the heat at this end, you'll have the bathroom be warm as well.
Okay.
All right. So fan is off. This is independent of both heating. So it's independent of the gas and the electric. So we can operate it with either or without.
Yeah.
To the right is thermostatically controlled. So you can set to whichever fan setting you want. And then it will rise up and down with the heat.
Right.
Okay. This side of it is the manual. So you can adjust the speed of the fan you want.
Ah. Right. Okay.
Okay. As I said, you can also use this independently of any heat. So in the summer you can just have it as a circulation.
Of
Because you won't
air.
cool it down, but it'll just circulate it around you.
Yeah.
Around your
Okay.
van. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Right. So if you just go back to the consumer unit now, you see that one there, that one just above the water heat space heater. So that's the
Yeah.
one that's providing power to that switch on there.
Okay.
Obviously there's no danger. If you've left that on, there's no danger. It won't damage anything. Obviously that one
Yeah,
definitely
just
will
that
if you've got
one.
no water in there.
Okay.
Okay. What you've also got is what's called a car van switch. Obviously that's
Okay.
just dimmed a bit now. So in the centre is off.
Yeah.
What you really want to be on is van.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your caravan. That's just drawing the 12 volts from your battery. So if you had no electric connected,
Yeah.
you make sure it's on van.
Yeah.
Plus, if you want to charge, which is that one there, that's your charger,
Yeah.
charger switch. If you want to charge the onboard battery, that needs to be to van.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
What you can do, you don't need this if you're thinking about putting any power from your car to your van when you're travelling. But if you're on site and you still had the car attached, you
Yeah.
could actually draw power 12 volts from that.
Right.
But you go and drain the battery on that, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're unlikely to be starting. But that is that option. But that's the only option when you're on site, not when you're travelling. Okay.
Yep.
What you can also see are 12 volt fuses. It's very similar to car fuses. So obviously they obviously got all the individual 12 volt systems in here that obviously they select to. You've got obviously domestic 240 switches there as well.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay with that one?
Yeah.
Good. Right. So other appliances we've got.
Yeah.
Obviously cooker. I'll say reasonably straightforward. You've got an igniter button there.
Yeah.
So just press and hold if you've operated gas before. Okay, simple as that. Obviously you've got electric version in there as well,
Yeah.
as long as you've got electric connected obviously. Just be very careful, obviously that will hold the heat a lot longer than them will,
Yeah.
and if you go and put the glass down and that's still hot,
Shatter.
obviously that will shatter and it goes off into hundreds of little pieces.
Okay.
Okay, grill, so you got your grill pan inside there, exactly the same again, it will ignite off the igniter button, you can get that fired up then. Okay, same in the oven. So see if it goes out, just hold it that little bit longer.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I haven't done. Looks like it's still got a bit of cleaning stuff on there as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Next thing is your fridge. So on-off button is that little tiny one there. You can see there's a nice blue light glowing away. The screen is asleep at the moment. I can just press any button just to light the screen up. So at the moment, gas is selected. If I press this one, this is your select button. So I obviously pressed it too quickly. So that's now electric selected,
Okay.
which most people tend to run it on, as we said, you pay for your pitch.
Yeah.
So electric selected, 12 volts. So that's 12 volts coming from your vehicle. So that's coming from the grey side of the electrics.
Okay.
So that will only operate when your engine's running.
So
Once
it
you're
won't
connected.
run on the caravan battery.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're on a site with no electric, the only other option would be gas.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you can see that there now, got a blue light flashing, you've got a spanner. What it is, it's showing, not an issue, but it's showing a fault as such because there's no electric, there's no 12 volts to take. So it's obviously realised there's no 12 volts to operate from.
Okay.
So it's telling me that by doing that. If I did that on the gas, so if I select gas and that came up, that means the gas hasn't lit.
Okay.
Okay, so if I select gas now, I should fire up straight away because I've had it run on gas. So you can see it's got a solid blue light. If it started flashing and you get that spanner there, there can be other faults that could have caused that, but the main one you will see is because it hasn't lit.
Right.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
the same as your boiler. So all you do is press and hold that little button, switch it off, give it about a minute. So again, check you have turned your gas on, you have got gas, so you could fire your cooker up. The other reason maybe is because it's got air in the system again.
Okay.
So after about a minute, switch it, press and hold, switch it on, see if it'll light. It may fail again, so the same as your boiler. It may take 2 or 3 attempts just to do that, but again, it's trying to purge the air out.
Yeah.
So what you should see is a solid blue light there. Okay?
Yeah.
Again, most people tend to run it on electric. This side of it is your temperature range. So all 5 lit, that's the coldest setting.
Yeah.
So if it's coming out frozen butter, then you obviously need to change it down a bit. So that will just scroll round and round and round. You just keep pressing it.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 or 3 is around about average for this country. It depends on how cold it is outside. If it's really cold outside, obviously it needs to work. It doesn't need to work as hard.
Oh yeah.
If it's hot, obviously it needs to work a bit hard.
Okay.
Alright. So just pressing all that. Switches off. Right, just inside here, you just see this little tab here.
Yeah.
What that's there for is when you're in storage, you put that in that little hole there. That keeps the door open, obviously to allow air to circulate. Otherwise, it will end up being mould and
Okay.
not too nice. But obviously, make sure you clean it first. Then that tab will hold it. Well, you can just keep the door open if you wanted to anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's what it's there for.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to say we should have some hot water hopefully by then. It's going to start raining again.
What's that little thing down there?
Yeah, that's your. Where's the key?
What are you looking at?
I just realised I can't remember see the keys.
I think you stepped over
Little
them.
green light flashing.
Right.
It's for the
What
alarm,
that
isn't
is your alarm. Okay, so obviously I didn't explain that when we came in. So your alarm fob, top button is torch. To set your alarm, 1 beep. So just press that second button down, 1 beep is on. So that's a PIR sensor. It's also got a tilt sensor. 2 beeps off. So just 1 press again, 2 beeps off.
Okay.
Okay, so PIR sensor and also a tilt sensor. So obviously as long as it's set and someone's trying to wind it up to get it onto their vehicle, that tipping will actually set the alarm off.
Okay.
Okay, then you also got keys. I'm just trying to see what. Normally that's your main key. Obviously this must have had an extra change of lock at some stage because it's got a slightly different key. So that will normally do your main. So that's 1 and a spare.
Yep.
Just checking to see what the numbers are on it. 32. Yeah, so them two are the same. Yeah, so that might be the toilet one.